Hello class, I'm going to go through this example of a compare-contrast analysis essay so you can use it to help you when you begin writing your own analysis essay for the theme of our semester that you all chose. First of all, just notice how this student set up the endorsement, the title, and the page number. And also don't forget, this is what your works cited page should look like. At the end of your document, on its own page, list it in alphabetical order by author's last name. So one thing we can take a look at first is the highlighting in the document. As you notice, the yellow highlights are words that signify differences. So you can look at differences or similarities, and the student chose to look at differences. You might even overlap and look at a little bit of both. But for this paper, you'll notice that there's a lot of yellow words highlighted in here that show differences. It's important to repeat these kinds of words to show unity and coherence in the paper. Particularly in the topic sentences, you'll notice there's a yellow highlighted word because the topic sentence is going to be announcing what the paragraph is about. So reminding the reader that it is a paper about differences is important to do in each of the topic sentences. Then you'll notice the blue highlighted words are words that signify the main idea of the essay. This essay is looking at the differences between homeschooling and traditional schooling. So you'll see a lot of repeated words to reinforce that this is the topic of the essay. So we'll see traditional, public school, homeschool, and then as we move through the paper, you'll continue to see blue highlighted words to reinforce the topic. This paragraph focuses on homeschool, so you see it's mentioned in the topic sentence and throughout the paragraph. And then this one contrasts with traditional school. So again, you'll see the blue highlights reinforce what is the focus of the paragraph, and then continue to reinforce that throughout the paragraph. So we kind of jump back and forth between homeschool and public school. Next we have green highlighted words. These are words that signify the three main points to support the thesis claim. Remember, your thesis is at the end of your introductory paragraph. Your first paragraph should grab the reader's attention, and then at the end of that you can have your thesis claim in the sentence, which is going to mention that we're doing contrast, so differences reminds the reader of that. It's going to mention the major topic of the essay, which in this case is homeschool and traditional school. And then it's going to provide a roadmap or a plan of development for the points that are going to be discussed in the paper. In this case, this writer is looking at PACE, and then they're looking at curriculum, and finally they're going to finish with socialization. So if we look through the paper again, we can see that the topic sentences announce which topic is going to be discussed, and it needs to match the order of the thesis statement. The thesis started with PACE, so this first body paragraph talks about PACE, and then you'll see the green highlights throughout the paragraph are indicating words related to PACE, like time. And then the next paragraph is the PACE in traditional schools. So we have rate used as well as pace and time. In the thesis, the next point was going to be curriculum. So our next body paragraph, the topic sentence, is going to mention curriculum. And then it's going to create unity by using words related to curriculum throughout, like lesson and material. Then we talk about curriculum in the public school. So again, we use curriculum in the topic sentence and throughout the body paragraph. The thesis statement mentioned socialization as the next point. So this topic sentence says socialization and then uses words related to socialization throughout, like meeting other children, groups, building relationships, online groups, socially, and same thing in the next body paragraph, which is about traditional school of socialization. So we have more words related to that for unity, like peers, relationships, collaborate, all the way through to the conclusion paragraph. So when we get to the conclusion paragraph, notice that, again, there's a mix of the three different highlights because we're trying to tie everything we've talked about together. So we definitely want to mention our main topic again, which is the homeschool and traditional school. We want to reinforce that the paper has been about differences, so you see all of the yellow highlighted words. And then finally, what were the things we discussed in the paper? Those are the green highlights. We talked about PACE, then curriculum, then socialization. So notice it's in the same order as it was presented in the paper. So hopefully you can look through this and use this as a good example to guide you. Also notice the citation here in the paper. You do have to provide at least 2 citations. When you set those up, you can use this as an example. You want to start your citation with a signal phrase that mentions the author's name, as well as the title of the article or book or whatever your source is. Notice that they use present tense verbs to introduce the quotes. You want to always, with MLA format, use present tense verbs. The quote is in quotation marks. And this one does not have a citation at the end because it was an internet source, but if your source has page numbers, at the end of the quotation marks you would have parentheses listing the page numbers, and the period would be moved after the parentheses. So use this to help guide you as you're writing your analysis paper. Also use the assignment sheet and make sure you go through the rubric before you turn the paper in to make sure you've double checked everything. Don't forget the Real Center is available for tutoring as well as the ILC. And then I'm here for any questions or concerns that you have. So good luck, and I look forward to reading your papers.